Hello everybody, my name is Mr. Corattiyil, and I have questions that were submitted by students in the National Honor Society, and I wanted to share with you some of my thoughts on these questions. I really appreciate you guys doing it. I think it's an awesome way to get to know staff and administrators and teachers and things like that, so thank you for the opportunity. The first question is, what advice would you give to seniors before going to college next year? The one thing I would probably say to seniors is make sure you take advantage of opportunities. Because when you're out of college, when you're further down the road in life, you'll look back and either really appreciate the things that you did and like the opportunities you took to try some different things, or you'll look back and say, man, I really wish I had a chance to do X, Y, Z. So college and future education and just anything you do after high school has so many opportunities to just grow and learn more about yourself and learn more about other people and just meet new people. I think take advantage of those as much as you can. Why do you like being a dean of students, a dean of high school students? I really enjoy being a dean of high school students, specifically high school, because I feel like you guys are all mature and you're all kind of thinking about what you want to do with your lives, but you're all still really, you're just really honest and straight shooting people, and I like that because I think as people go through life and experience different things as they get older, I think they have a tendency to that just changes their perspective on things. I really like the perspective that high school students have on life, and that's why I like being around them, and that's why I like working with them. Why do you like working in Sycamore? I love working in Sycamore, not like love, because I am a product of the Sycamore system. So I went to Sycamore schools from kindergarten through 12th grade, and I owe Sycamore a lot for where I am in life now and all the opportunities that I've had, and so I wanted to do a little bit to give back to the district and to the high school. If you could have any other job in the world, what would you do? Whew, that is a hard question. I think a job that I would love would allow some flexibility for like family and friends time, but also an opportunity to travel a little bit. I think that would be a neat opportunity. So I think working education provides some of that because you have time to give to the kids and to the staff here. You have time for family stuff, and you also have an opportunity to go a lot of places. We went to a conference in Washington, D.C. to advocate for Sycamore High School recently. We get to do a lot of things over the summer that are kind of professional development, but also an opportunity to travel and see new places and meet new people, and I really enjoy those types of jobs. So I guess I don't have an answer for what the job would be, but it would be a type of job where you get to go new places, meet new people, and kind of work with both of those aspects. If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go? That is a really good question. But if I had to travel somewhere in the world, and some of you guys might think this is weird, but I would love to go to like the desert, because I don't think many people go, and I think it's one place of the world that is, like out in the desert is really unchanged in global history. I don't think there's a lot of places like that on Earth anymore. So that's a place I would love to check out. That's probably weird. You're probably laughing. Okay. What is it like, and I don't mind heat, what is it like working at the same high school you went to? Good, kind of a bullet point under the third question. It is very cool and sometimes a little weird, funny, not weird, but good funny, because a lot of the teachers are the same teachers that I had. So it's real, and I liked being here, and I liked working with them. So it's really cool to get to work with them as a professional as opposed to like a student-teacher relationship. So that's a really interesting part. So I guess the answer to the question is I really like working at the high school that I went to. What made you want to come back to Sycamore after graduating and leaving Cincinnati? I didn't really appreciate how good of a town and a school district Cincinnati and Sycamore were until I spent some time away from it. And my family, my parents are both still here living in the district, and it's nice to be closer to them. I did a lot of traveling, in the middle time. So it just has a lot of value. I think once you guys get a chance to leave Sycamore and come back, you'll get a little bit of a different appreciation for how great of a district and how really awesome of an area this suburban Cincinnati area is. So that's what made me want to come back. Would it be awkward if a student accidentally calls you Ashwin? Ashwin is my first name. It would not be awkward. I think I'd get a chuckle out of it because that's my name. So like I would probably look and be like, oh, okay. So I wouldn't care. I think the people who've probably done it so far, I don't know if accidentally is probably the right word for it, but whatever. What's the purpose of giving the teachers SLO tests when we already have so many standardized tests? That's a fair question. I think in general, all of the testing and the standards that are in place are sort of statewide legislators and policymakers' goal of trying to be able to assess what's happening in schools when they are not physically in school. So right now it's a little challenging to know, not so much at a district like Sycamore where it's really high performing and we've got great students and test scores and extracurriculars, but at schools that are a little less transparent than that, it's tough to see exactly whether everybody's meeting all the benchmarks that we hope people can meet and kids are getting the skills that they need to succeed later in life. Is it a perfect system? I would say it can definitely use some adjustments, but I think that's the goal. So longer term, hopefully they can tweak things to a point where everybody can be happy with it. What is the most important thing to you? The most important thing. I would say probably the thing that I hope is most important to me, that I'm not sure that it is, but I would love it to be, is my spirituality. I think I just really value the sense that we all are part of something bigger than ourselves, and everything that you do affects other people, and everything that you do has an impact on a much bigger thing than yourself. So I like knowing that things aren't about me, like I'm not doing things because they're about me, it's because of something else. And I think that gives it a little bit of a different motivation for doing things when it's about somebody else or about something bigger than yourself. Do you believe in senior skip day? I believe in seniors really appreciating the last year of their time at Sycamore High School in the appropriate way. And they should definitely have some fun. I'll tell you a funny story. When I was a senior here, I did not participate in senior skip day because there were kids who... Anyway, there was something that happened and the principal kind of challenged students and said, okay, if you were involved in this thing, that wasn't necessarily a positive thing, we hope you won't skip on senior skip day. And I had kind of been part of that, and so I didn't do it. So I would say, there's a right way to enjoy your time, and there's probably a not as appropriate way. I hope you guys all do the right thing, and I'm sure that you will. So that was sort of a non-answer to your question, but that's my answer. Can we have another snow day? If you guys get a snow day between now and June 4th, I will personally buy pizza for every senior in this school. Next question. Thoughts on Shoyo 2015? I think Shoyo is a great student and a great Sycamore aviator, and he won an academic achievement award earlier in the year. He's awesome. I don't know. I don't get what the hashtag thing is, but it seems like it's cool. But I don't know. So if it's not cool, delete this part of the footage. What superhero do you most closely identify with? Batman, absolutely. I've been Batman for like 4 Halloweens. I have 2 Batman t-shirts. I love Batman because he's a normal guy. Like Superman's got a bunch of superpowers like Clark Kent in real life. He physically was, from another planet and all that other stuff. But Batman is just a normal guy. He's got some resources because his family had money, but he's just a normal guy. And then he does his superhero work in like the dead of night, so when nobody knows that it's him doing it. So he's not doing it for credit or to like show people the S on his chest. He's just doing it because it's the best for Gotham City. That's what he cares about. So I love Batman. Would you rather be able to fly or become invisible? I'd rather be able to fly. I feel like if you're invisible, you really couldn't appreciate the time you're spending with other people because they wouldn't know that you're there. But if you could fly, I think that would be a really cool group activity. Like I would take my friends on trips and stuff. What's the best advice that you've ever gotten? The best advice I ever got was probably from my dad. So when I was a senior, I gave my parents a letter and I said, can you write down the things that were the most important to you, when you left home? And, my parents are from India, so they they left home and they got married and they moved to a completely different country where they didn't know anybody. So it was a little bit more of a jump than like me coming from here and going to an American college. And my dad said that he just wrote one word. He said resiliency. And that was his whole thing, because in life, his one belief over everything else was that if you really apply yourself and you really want to do something, there's no limit to what you can achieve. And it sounds kind of cliche, but I believe it. I mean, given some of the things that he's done, just from what I've known about him, it's a really inspiring. It was really inspiring that he could boil his whole, at that time, 45, 50 years of life into that one word. So that was probably the best advice I ever got. Have you met Britney Spears? You will laugh, but the answer to that question is yes. I met Britney Spears at a deli in New York City, which is like a convenience store. And it was late in the evening one evening, and we were just walking in to like get something to eat and walk out, and she happened to be there. She didn't even have like an entourage; it was just her, and she was living downtown in Manhattan at the time, which is where I went to college in New York. And she was cool. Like I kind of bumped into her, and I was like, "Hey, how are you?" And she was like, "Oh, hey, good." And that was it. And then I told everybody that I met Britney Spears. And I think I told somebody at NHS, and that's why this question's in here. But the answer is yes. What do you like most about Sycamore? I like you guys. Like, I think the student body here is better than anywhere else. And I'm not just saying that because I'm talking to you guys or working here. I just really, really enjoy being around you guys. I think you have so much to contribute to each other and to the community of Sycamore and to this community in a broader sense too. And you may not even know it yet, but like people view Sycamore students as a really, really high level of student. Whatever your GPA or your involvement is, just the education and the kind of experience you're getting here at Sycamore, people from the outside are really jealous of that. That's why home values are high in Sycamore. That's why people are trying to move into the district. That's why, you guys get a lot of media attention and things like that. That's why we're on Channel 9 News when we have a pep rally, because people really like Sycamore students. So that's what I like most about Sycamore. What is your happiest memory? My wedding day is definitely a happy memory. Graduation day from here and from college is definitely a happy memory. Probably when I got home from Afghanistan and I saw my parents, that was a really happy memory for me. So all those things, kind of not one thing, but several things are my happiest memory. And that's all your questions, so thank you very much for your time.